Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of Final Fantasy VI Beyond Chaos Permadeath. Off camera, I went ahead and added, you can see it on screen there, the item effects for the various items we've gotten, just so it's easier for you guys to keep track of what has what. And also, occasionally, I might have to take a look at it at a glance and figure out what is going to reverse my cures. Now, going further past this, we are probably going to revert to slightly different flags for a future run. And the reason for that is it's just easier to keep track of when literally every item doesn't have random effects. And the other thing to note about these is that literally at any point, these permadeath seeds can end. It might not seem like it, but even veteran players occasionally die to Welk, because Welk will have something unexpected. He might turn characters to stone when he does his special attack. And we're going towards sort of the first blocking point of the game, which is Vargas. And a lot of seeds die in Vargas if the skills and items are not strong in it. After that, Ultros is another big blocker, the first Ultros in Let River, just because you're dealing with the Banon factor. So, let's go ahead and start our trek through Mount Koltz here. And hopefully we can get through it without dying. If at any point I do die, I will probably discuss stuff that we're going to be doing going forward on the YouTube channel. If anything, just to pad out the length of the video to not make it obvious that I've died. I mean, I can only do so much, unfortunately. Let's go with our Elemental, because our Esper is bad. You can get Crusader, which will kill you. There's not even a maybe. You will die. A free sniper sights. Have we gotten that already? Also a free white cape. White cape can be good. Let's swing on down here. Sniper sight. That's normal. Nobody can equip it. Okay, this has a couple of effects. Unfortunately, it looks like one we won't be able to use, but just for reference sake, so we got white cape. It has no imp, no mute, which is normal, better control, which is a realm ability, although she might not have it. It grants X fight, which means you hit 4 times, but it also has confusion. So that means if I equip it, whoever has it on is going to be confused. We don't really need them to be attacking 4 times, because obviously they will kill us. Actually, you know what? Well, that is a high-tiered chest, so it might be worth going for. But at the same time, if it's a fight, that could be bad. Generally, it's a good idea to avoid fights if you can get away with it. At least when you're doing permadeath. A magical brush. I know we had some brush, I forget which one it was. Or I might be thinking of one. Oh, we had one of those, in fact. Well, that was a swing and a miss, but still. No harm, no foul. Wasn't anything bad, so that's what matters. Yeah, going forward, I'll probably remove the flag that just makes items completely off the rails random. And we'll sort of have more simple flags, I guess, is the best way of putting it. Until which point where we've finished a seed, and then maybe we'll add a little bit more to it from there on. Ooh, a muscle belt. That could be useful, depending on if it's a screw job item or not. It puts you to sleep, unfortunately, so while that would be nice, we don't want to be put to sleep. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world because the first hit would wake us up, but the first hit could be devastating. Nonetheless, we will update our information. Also, using more simple flags will allow me to more easily update the text file as we go to keep the information as fresh as possible. The reason why I updated that all off camera after the first episode is because there's a lot of items to go through, basically. A tech star. Sometimes people can equip these, but usually these are just throwables. Okay, let's just... Or at least nobody can equip it yet. Well, the first thing I'm noticing about in here is that the, fights are not terrible so far. Emphasis on so far. Sometimes you can run into some pretty nasty stuff. Like I was, doing a charity run at some point. I think I might have even mentioned this the last episode where a friend of mine, Dusty Griff, was pretty much just locked in place because one of the enemies in here used Fire 3, and it was a common encounter. And it took him about 40 minutes to actually push through. I got lucky in that I snuck by without running into it too much. But that can happen, you know. You'll be in a new area and you're not expecting something like that to happen, and you're just dead, and that's the end of the seed. Another example I could use is I remember going to the Magitech research facility, and one of the enemies used Quake right out off the bat, and that pretty much was the end of that. I just got something new. What was it? I want to say it was another accessory. Well, maybe not. Nothing jumps out as new there, at least. Oh, Magus Rod, that's what it was. Okay, Magic Rod changes magic into steel. I mean, I doubt I would use that unless I knew of a particular item that was worth stealing. And I mean, ideally, you want magic spells in this game because magic is the strongest stat in the game. Mainly because in the vanilla game, that was the only stat that really mattered in the game whatsoever, because most of the other stuff was broken. I mean, we have the luxury right now of having pretty decent abilities for this stage in the game. I mean, there could certainly be stronger abilities, but, you know, having access to some of the stuff like Fire Beam and all that will whittle down enemies in this range pretty quickly. I mean, we've seen the first attack just wipe these guys. Unfortunately, they seem somewhat resistant to fire stuff. But they still don't have that much HP, so even if his skill ends up being unhelpful, the X fight that she has more or less gets the job done. So if I have time, I might record a second video today. There's a new beta for the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Randomizer, and that was kind of one of the first things I got into when I started streaming, so I tend to dip back in when there's a beta just to see what's new. Might record it, throw it on the YouTube for the fun of it. And then, I don't know, if I have time after doing that, maybe I might even pop on stream. I might save the Free Enterprise dip for a different day, though. Well, like, record it overnight so I can upload it on not today. Have a little bit extra content throughout the week. I have not decided yet, because I do want to start playing a game called Yakuza 5. So, I have to admit, I'm tempted to pop on today just to play a little bit of that. Doesn't do great numbers, the Yakuza series, because it's kind of obscure, but, you know, those who know it love it. This particular room is when the bad stuff tends to come out and play, if there's going to be bad stuff. Those don't seem so bad so far, although to be fair, we didn't really give them much of an opportunity to attack. Now, the next area is a little bit more concerning because we will have a party member named Bannon, and Bannon can be killed, and then you just get game over if he dies. So you don't even have the luxury of, well, everybody else lives, so we're fine. You getting poisoned is not ideal. Do we have anything that'll let me heal that? We have one antidote. I will take that. That's a good one to grab. That can't be reversed even if they have walls, because sometimes enemies could be built in with wall status, which means if I just use a regular fire spell, that's going to bounce off and hit me in the face instead, which could be problematic, as you might imagine. I'm perfectly happy to get preemptive attacks. That wasn't a full team hit, so less useful, but still enough to kill them outright. Also have to check those beads when I get a chance, because I did see one of those dropped, and I don't think we've had them yet. We've yet to have a really overly powerful item. At least one that, you know, is completely unignorable. Also, we got titanium, which is right here. Okay, that's one of the imp items. I mean, it does do low HP shell, so I'll jot it down. I don't even remember if that's what the vanilla item does. Also absorbs water. And now the beads. Where are the beads? Right here. Half MP cost. That is not bad. I mean, we don't have much in the way of magic power right now, as far as like spell list aside from Terra, but having half magic costs is good, especially combined with random evade. Okay. So now we have that. Do I even have any relics on everybody? Yeah, everybody's got a full list. You have offering as well. I mean, nobody has natural magic right now, so the half MP thing is not really helpful at the exact minute. I mean, I could just use a Mega Elixir. I do have a few. Yeah, I don't want to waste elixirs right now if I can help it. Since we do have that Super Ball, I might be able to skip the Sabin phase, which would be the most ideal outcome here. Although, I don't recall if anybody has an item command, so that still might not be all. Okay, you do. If we're lucky, those will kill the bears. Sadly, we are not. Although maybe I can mimic that. Okay, so they're gone. Now we just need to get to the item use. If we are lucky, this will do enough damage to where we can skip the phase and not have to deal with fighting him as just Sabin, which is very problematic at the best of times. Sadly, no. But here we'll be able to figure out what Sabin's skill set is. Okay, El Nino is not bad. So if you happen to get Pummel or Blitz, you can still one-shot this guy. Fight, Fall, Spe, El Nino, an item. I'm not sure what Fall Spe is offhand. Fallen One, okay. Fallen One special. So Fallen One is a skill that renders his HP to 1. I don't know what special does, but... Ooh, okay. He absorbs the element on your weapon. That is not ideal, obviously. What about El Nino? How do you feel about El Nino? That's enough, okay. So Fallen One is a pretty overpowered skill, all things considered, especially if it hits the whole enemy party. It's the first time I've ever gotten Fallen One as a normal attack. Alright, so let's check out your stuff real quick. So you're... Okay, so he absorbed wind. You can use this. What did Magical Rush have? I don't see anything listed. Morning Star has magic power upgrade. I'm gonna add 2 of these so I can double check what it does in a second. I have to check Dark Gear, so I'm gonna put on this just momentarily. No zombie, magic power +4. I mean, just having no zombie in general isn't bad. And what about the other thing? Is this just plain? Okay. So you can have the Dark Gear back, I think, because I don't remember what... Actually, what was that? That's the step regen one. I mean... You don't have built-in magic, so right now that probably makes more sense. Although hopefully we don't run into anything that does zombie status. Also, Oath Veil teaches Muddle ×5 and changes H-Bomb into Magitech. Well, he doesn't have that command, so that's fine. You can have beads, why not? Doesn't really matter, I'm just giving it to you for the evade. And this is normal, I think? Yeah, why not? At least that way we can get quicker Fallen Ones in. Another pair of beads. I'll take them. Oh, it does hit everybody. Alright. Well, in that case, just do this. Now, if that works on Ultros, so I don't know how Fallen One works with boss fights. That could be significantly overpowered enough to almost guarantee we get through Ultros. In fact, if there's nothing preventing it from working on everybody, that is something that you would pretty much be using it using him in the final party throughout the entire game. Unless the game, for whatever reason, doesn't allow us to use him at that exact time. A Blossom, I think that's new. It's just a wind weapon. Is it stronger than what you got, though? Not particularly. And we're gonna have to unequip whoever is in the lock place, because we want his gear to be available to everyone else. Probably makes more sense to hit with her, actually, because not only will she steal, but we won't have to sit through the whole thing. Although, I guess they make more sense against multiple enemies. Yes, having Fallen One as you're about to go into the Banon segment is probably a good call. Because then you don't have to worry so much about just automatically getting blitzed. A Dragon Horn. Where is that? Okay, that has an auto shell effect. I mean, if you're going to be doing super jumping, you're not even going to be in the battle for the most part to begin with, but I mean, it doesn't hurt, I guess. Alright, talk to you. This will switch around my party. So now Banon will be in the party directly once I do this little talky bit. I don't want to open any chest while I'm just Terra. That would be bad. Very, very bad. And you can get a different item if you say yes or no to Banon. Since we don't really know what either item is, I'd usually just say yes, because 50-50 shot of it being good. Alright, so that'll add Banon to the party. You're already in the back row. We'll check him in a minute. We got the Star Pendant, which seems to be vanilla. Okay. What do you have equipped? So, we got an Imperial, a cat hood, a red jacket, guard ring, and goggles. I mean, under normal circumstances, none of that would be particularly bad, but because we don't know what random effects was added to it, could be. You have El Nino as well. Throw an item. So, I mean, skill-wise, he's not bad. He's got a decent amount of HP comparatively to everybody else, so he's not going to be a hindrance, because sometimes you'll get like a level 3 Banon that if something coughs on him, he just explodes. Alright, free boomerang. What do you have? Force armor. Potentially very good. I'm gonna get one to check it before I buy more. Just to make sure it doesn't have any little extra secrets in it. Also, a boomerang. Can't be used right now, but it has HP plus 4 and Atma effect. An Atma effect is basically the more HP you have, the higher damage it does. And force, what do you have? Auto slow. I mean, it's annoying, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And I think Vigilance is either the more preemptive attacks or no back attacks things. Now, the fact that it has cover included is potentially bad. Because you don't really want people getting themselves killed diving into somebody else. Still, absorbing certain stuff or lowering it by 50 is not bad, so I'm actually going to buy 3 of those so we have a whole set. I don't know if any of those are any good, so for right now I'm not going to touch them. I'm also not going to rush into equipping those force armors just yet. We'll get a free instay because why not? And there's a couple of chests we can grab on the way out, which hopefully we won't run into anything particularly dangerous. I feel somewhat confident with the Fallen One ability, but it could still go to hell at any moment. Mithril Vest. A Relic Ring, which probably is going right into the trash pile. A Memento Ring could be useful. Leather Hat, Crystal Mail, a Drill, and a Gravity Rod. Okay, so what did we get out of that? Mithril Vest looks normal. Relic Ring looks normal. Memento Ring. Auto Regen. Okay. So it works normally aside from just having auto regen, so only a benefit rather than a negative. All things considered, that's probably one of the better items you're going to find. Leather Hat teaches Quarter. I mean, I guess it's neat to have a spell, but at the same time, probably nothing you have to rush into learning. That looks normal. A Earth Attack. Interesting. Okay, so Gravity Rod. Cast Quarter. And changes magic into steel. Earth Attack. I mean, the fact that it changes magic into steel probably kind of renders it useless overall. Because the chances of you using that are slim and none. It's not really that good of a spell, all things considered. It certainly can come in handy at times, but nothing where it's going to be like the saving grace for you, I would argue. Alright, so we got everything. All good, so it's time to actually head on the Lat River and basically hope Bannon doesn't get one-shot at any point. With the Fallen One and the fact that we have X-Fight on 2 characters, we'll probably be okay. But, you know, we still gotta get to the point where we're actually using the ability first, so... Still don't know what special does. If I remember, the next time I have my thing open, I'm gonna have to check that, the Susselbot. Alright, so in here we want to go left. Every time you play this game, it's left twice in here. Right, you're gonna start with that, that works out for me. Because I might as well just keep everybody doing the exact same setup they've already got. As long as they don't get in a first attack that's particularly devastating or have a death counter, we should be okay with Fallen One sort of making every fight relatively trivial. Under a normal seed like I'm going to be going to after this one, you're not getting Fallen One as a skill. This particular flag set does not have considerations for, you know, making things tiered. At least I don't think you can get Fallen One under normal circumstances. Maybe you can. I know you can get Step Mine, and Step Mine can be just as overpowered. Although that does require running around in fast-forward mode for several minutes. Now, even though we do have Fallen One, we're not out of the woods completely, because after we beat Ultros, we're going to be splitting up into 3 scenarios. And Sabin is going to be separate from everybody else, so we will still have to get through the area with Bannon without having Fallen One at our disposal. He does have El Nino, so as long as I don't absorb water, we might still be okay. But it's definitely not going to be the free ride it once was. Alright, nothing too bad there. And we'll see if this actually even still works on him. If it works on bosses, then we're gonna be mostly okay for the majority of the scene. I mean, the fact that that missed delayed things, but looks like it works. Which means it presumably would work on Final Kefka too, so, I mean, as long as we just don't get blindsided, this is feasibly a seed we could complete. Alright, so we're gonna start with these guys, get them out of the way. I mean, until we get to Kefka Narsh, we're not always going to have access to that ability, so there are still things that could go very wrong. Okay. Starting down with that. So far, so safe. And the reason why we want to do this one first is when we get to the end of the scenario, I can unequip everybody, which means more stuff is available for Sabin. At the end of Sabin's scenario, I want to unequip him, Cyan, and Gao, because then Locke will have access to everything, so, you know, while Locke is by himself, you have better survivability. Eventually, you will get Celeste that way. Which means you'll have more stuff to equip her as well. I did learn of something new earlier today when I was watching Dark/88. It was another runner of this game. And he was telling me that with one of the Mughals at the very beginning of the game, it's worth checking their equipment now. Because if you do the Celeste skip with Locke, and you play to the Opera House, rather, you can actually get his equipment, so if he has a Paladin shield, you might weigh the options of maybe going for him instead of Celeste, because after that you can go and get Celeste after the fact anyway. Okay, that is not ideal. Is that any better? No! Alright, I guess you will just be doing physical attacks then. So it's an interesting thing to keep in mind going forward. I forget, I think it's Kamog? Something like that? Kupek? I don't know, there's like 3 different Mughals you have to keep track of. I might have already added it to the list at the top. Ooh, another Crusader sword. Which you cannot use, but it's still good to have another copy just in case. So this room is actually potentially dangerous as it's more leveled to where you are at this point in the game. Which can be bad. Because if you get hit with a particularly nasty attack on Bannon, obviously that's the end of the game. Now, the next room could be dangerous if there wasn't a trick to get through it easier. Genji helmets. 3x3 no less, okay. Alright, that works normally. What do you have? No petrify with seizure effect. If I remember correctly, seizure effect is sap, so you gradually take damage like you're poisoned. I could be wrong at that, though. Still, I mean, if it's minimal damage, it might be worth it for the no petrify and the defense status and whatnot. Chances are you'd use something different. So now in this room, I'm going to be holding the A button as I go through here. Because if you hold A and up when you trick the light, you will always win. So right here, go up here, always win. If I had fallen one, I'd consider it, but I think right now it's better to skip that chest, because that particular chest can have really nasty stuff. Even with fallen one, like if he got the first hit and killed Sabin, and he did like 200 or 2,000 damage a pop, that'd be the end of the run, more or less. For the most part, we should be safe in here. Because this is the same enemy as Terra would have fought at the very beginning of the Seed. Now, there's always a chance at running into, like, Phantom Train as a random encounter while you're walking around. That's obviously not ideal. So you do have to be vigilant even in those areas where it seems like you're more or less safe. Alright. Scenario 1 done. We can now move on to Sabin. Also, I needed to check you, which I was forgetting. So, these items, if you get to the World of Ruin, you will get these items along the way. So, Bolt Edge. I don't know if you get all of them or if there's a chance at each one. But sometimes some very good stuff can be in here. Like you might get a Paladin shield or something like that. And granted, you have to make it through the entire first half of the game to get it, but still, it's good to know that it's in the option. Also, Kutan is the new Moogle that you have to keep track of. Alright, so you're a glorified Fallen One bot, so let's give you a wall ring just so something can't blindside you outright. Okay. I mean, I'll grab 4. Hopefully it doesn't have any bad effects that I'm hoping are not there. But I will gladly take those. Where are they? This definitely would not happen in a tiered seed, for the record. Teaches Fire 3. Alright, well, doesn't always teach Ultimate, unfortunately, but still, it doesn't have any other negative effects, so that's pretty much golden. But as I said before, this is no guarantee that we're winning the seed. Things can go wrong very quickly. For one, he can't equip it. Although I can equip the Crystal Shield. What is the Crystal Shield? Sprint and low HP shell. How does that... Can anybody equip the Paladin Shield? Maggie can, so only one character can equip it. At least right now. How does that compare to the Buckler? What did the Buckler have? Oh, well, yeah, we definitely want to take that off. Let's get Shadow, and what does Shadow have? First of all, put him in the back row. Fight, W, Sword, Magic, and Item. I'm assuming that means he uses multiple sword tech skills in a row. Because usually W means multiple. He has a magic command, but he does not have any built-in magic. You can actually use one of those paladin shields, so... Screw it. Sure, have it. I'm not going to give you anything else, though, unless I have to, because you can run at any moment. I mean, we did buy 3 of them and only one person can equip them, so we might be okay. Alright, you do that, you do that. And hopefully he will do the thing where he attacks multiple people. Although once we get him onto the Phantom train, I can get away with giving him stuff, because he can't run until you're done with it. Okay. They have their own sap ability killed them too, so... Tintinabar, I believe, had reverse cure effect, if I'm remembering right. Which is unfortunate, but what can you do? Yep, okay. So definitely don't want to use that. I mean, these guys are pretty decent that they'll just kill themselves. I mean, W sword to move it along isn't a bad call. Alright, almost down to the Imperial camp where we'll soon get Cyan. We'll get to see how he's going to compare to everybody. And his name is Luneth. So based off of the Final Fantasy III character. And what does he have? Well, he can wear a Crusader weapon, so that sounds good to me. We want to get that buckler off of you. What does the gold shield do again? No Magitech. I don't recall what that means, but sure, it's better than what you have. The Genji helmet, what was that? No Petrify and Seizure. What was Iron Helmet? Sprint and Dual Wield. I think Cotton Robe was double experience, if I'm remembering right. Although maybe not. Might not have jotted it down because every copy was equipped. Let me double check it real quick. Yeah, no dark double experience. Which probably means you want to keep that on because the more experience we get, the higher level we get, which makes everything a little bit easier, so... Pop that back on you, even though it's slightly lower stuff. Let's see here. What would be the best options to throw on you? I mean, that memento ring wouldn't be a bad call. And maybe the offering, because you do have that other weapon, that will also make it so it won't trigger Crusader. I forgot to check your commands, didn't I? Are you a berserker? I will have to check what type of berserker you are momentarily. Actually, you know what? Sure, we'll get the thingy here. So, there's a chance for every character, well, only one per seed, but every character can be a berserker. But they might not be a regular berserker. They might be like a blitzerker, so they will use on occasion a random blitz, which could be bad because they could use Spiraler, which heals everybody but kills the person who cast it. You know, they could be a jump zerker and constantly jump in the air, which that one's good because they're out of battle unless they're doing damage. Yeah, this guy we can just attack. Kefka is a frog. We'll have 2 rows of that. Then one last fight, which should go pretty quickly with the Fallen one. And then we just get Cyan permanently in the party. And after that, we have to be a little careful about taking fights. Because we do not want to lose Shadow, rather. As I kind of like having 4 Paladin shields, and I don't want to give one away. It would be polite, but I am not a polite person. Alright, a True Knight and a Poison Rod. Easily forgotten item here. Just another iron armor, nothing too fancy really. Alright, let's just stick with that for now. One day that special is going to connect and it's going to be mildly interesting, I guess. I don't know. It's probably not going to do much of anything. If I had to wager a guess, it's probably the thing where certain enemies have like a stop special or a petrify special, but that's a special with nothing attached to it, so it does nothing. Sometimes you can get skills like that, like Bomblet's another one. It's a skill an enemy uses which summons bombs to his aid in fights. But since you don't summon bombs, it's just a wasted inventory space. And as expected, you are in fact a fight Zerker. So likely won't be in the final party, although your battle power is significant, so maybe. As long as we put on a can't be confused item, that wouldn't be too bad, honestly. We just gotta get through this, and we are good to go. Interesting to see what the no Magitech effect on the item does. When he's sitting in the Magitech armor, does that just give him his normal skill set access? Which I guess in his case would just be fight normally. I mean, Fallen one with a Berserker that has an offering on could certainly be of use. 'Cause he's gonna be doing significant damage, especially with his battle power. Might even be worth putting him in the front row rather than the back row, just to take full advantage of it. Okay, he has a skill that gives me image status. That's a little weird, but alright. Alright, now on our way out of here. Also neat pink and purple Magitech armor here. Guess we'll just use Fire Beam right now. Okay, so yeah, he just goes for it. Good to know. no experience for that fight. That's kind of annoying. At least I don't need to worry about him doing the wrong skill or something. He's just gonna fling himself at enemies face first. Works for me. You absorb fire, not ideal. Let's try Bolt then. Oh, you still use your... I don't think I've ever seen the normal attack command while sitting in Magitech armor before. That's kind of funny. Free diamond vest, can't complain. So one more fight and then we are sort of in dire straits mode until we get on the train itself. We don't want to risk losing Shadow. So we're just gonna have to run away from everything plausible. And if we get stuck in a can't run situation, we just have to hope he doesn't run afterwards. In fact, I might unequip the Paladin shield just for the time being, just to be safe. So let's unequip that. Might miss out on some good experience and items running from everything here, but like I said, the more people we have on the train, the better. That is not ideal, but I don't think we have any more antidotes. But we will go to a curing pond, which will get rid of that, so as long as I can hold on to that point, we're good. One feature I do have to be wary of is this area is now randomized. So you don't know which path is going to go where you want it to go. Usually you can feel through it pretty easily, but there is always the chance of getting very lost. Okay, well we found this at least. That'll get rid of the poison status and make it so I can actually see where the hell I'm going. This is a can't run. That is not ideal. And theoretically, all I have to do is figure out what's preventing me from running. Although this will probably kill them all outright. I mean, worst case scenario, I did take the Paladin shield off of him, and we do have fallen ones, so... Okay. Not running. But we also know the ghosts are what is preventing the runnings. Oh, good. Found the right path, which seemed to be relatively vanilla this time. Alright, now that we're on the train, I can actually check out his equipment full stop. So let's give you back your Paladin shield. What does the Magus Rod have? Changes magic into steel. I mean, right now we can't use magic, so there may be some value in that. Bandana increases his HP value. I don't know about Taio Robe. What did we just remove from you? Kotetsu. That just uses some HP, or MP. That's fine. Did I unequip the wrong person? No, okay. Let's see. What do I want? I guess you can have beads. And, why not? Have an offering. Everybody can attack multiple times. So the enemies in the Phantom Train can be very dangerous very often. using stuff like that is definitely not good. Now, the benefit is, halfway through we do get a food car where you can get a free top-up, basically. If we get 2 turns, I can fall on one, then El Nino, which as long as they don't absorb water is pretty much a guaranteed win. Of course they do absorb water, so what can you do? Might do that instead of the other thing, so I'm more guaranteed to get kills in. Alright, you can also recruit one of these guys. You have W Sword and Magitech. The Magitech could come in handy. Free Iron Armor. You, however, are automatically confused, which is not a good look. There may be some value in killing him off as soon as possible. Although if we can prevent him from even using his turn, we might be okay. Alright, the second car there is going to be a shop. I don't think we have a Revivify. Because sometimes the Phantom Train boss itself is just automatically killable. I mean, we have Fallen One, so it's not a huge deal if it isn't. A gem box, and I know hero rings are normal, so I'm gonna grab some of those. I'll check what a gem box does in this particular seed. Also, Genji Armor is worth checking. Okay, that is a crappy gem box. Gem box changes magic into steel and has berserk status. And what about the Genji Armor? That is actually quite vanilla. Alright, so let's see. Actually, did it... It looked like nobody could equip it. Oh, 3 people, I guess. Luneth, Light, and Muppet. Well, we don't want to get rid of that because it's our thing to increase our experience. This will also let me look at the Tower Robe. That has auto regen, okay. I mean, there is certainly some value to having that effect, but I think right now, for the amount of stats that it increases, it's probably better to go with the other thing, although it does have more magic block. But since I know this is now safe, I will grab more of them. And I can ignore those. No Revivify, so we're gonna have to use the Fallen One strategy, which, I mean, it's effective, so who cares? And that is the end of the seed, because our lovely friend got his turn off before we had the chance to do anything about it, and just instantly killed us. Just like that. You know? So, next seed, like I said, we're gonna be using slightly different flags. I mean, they're not gonna be too different. We'll just be getting rid of Mad World, essentially, is the only thing that I think we'll be getting rid of. So there'll be lesser extreme variation in items, but I mean, that's not going to remove the difficulty. It will also sort of put a tier list on things, so, you know, I'm probably not going to get, like, Fallen 1 as just a casual skill. But yeah, that's how quickly things can go wrong if you're not careful. Even if you are careful, you know, you might get an ally that is automatically enraged and uses stuff that could just wipe your party in one hit. But we'll start something new next week. For now, you had a taste of 2 episodes of Final Fantasy VI Beyond Chaos. And again, like I've said, this is normal. The Fen train is where a lot of seeds go to die, if you even get that far. But for now, I will bid you adieu, and we'll be back next week, possibly for a new seed. I might do something else. We'll see how it goes. Until then, see you next time.